Welcome to Therapy Explained. My name is Deniss. I am a licensed therapist, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 coping tools to help you manage stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety don't just live in our heads. It's not just the thoughts that we are having or the things that we are experiencing. Our whole nervous system will respond to what's going on around us. Your breathing will increase, your heart rate will increase, your muscles will tense, amongst other things that are going on with you physiologically. So what we're going to do with these coping tools that I'm introducing to you is help regulate those, calm them down. Your nervous system isn't feeling safe, so it's going and preparing for either fight or flight. So what we're going to do with these coping tools is remind it that you are okay, that you are safe, and that it doesn't need to be working so hard. I'm just going to be introducing you to some of these coping tools, and if you're interested in watching a video where I am leading you through these coping strategies, consider becoming a paid member. Some tiers will give you access to extra videos that I kind of create and I'm inspired to do sometimes, and then I just send them your way so that you can watch them. Embodied breathing. This is one that I teach my clients after the first session. The reason that I like to introduce the embodied breath, which really is just learning how to have a deep breath, a very intentional breath, is because it starts to introduce you to the idea of helping your body feel more grounded. There are more things that you can add, and I'll share some of those tips at the very end of this video about how you can kind of, add some extra seasoning, some extra supports around these coping tools to make even better use of them. But to get started, let's do the basic breath. The basic breath doesn't necessarily fix anything, but what it does do is it creates distance between a triggering situation or experience and your response. It gives you that opportunity to feel a little bit more grounded so that you can decide what you're going to do or what it is that you need in order to feel safe again. I recommend that you do this breath 3 times, but I'm going to walk you through it once. I think it's always best to try to keep both feet planted on the floor. You can put one or both hands on your chest, one or both hands on your stomach, or one hand on each, whatever feels most comfortable for you. If you feel comfortable enough to close your eyes, I also think that is the best. But if you are in a space where you don't feel comfortable doing so, just look down to your knees, to the floor, to your feet. When you take a deep breath in, you're going to do that through your nose, and then we're going to exhale through our mouth. And as we're taking a deep breath in, I'm going to have you take in a deep breath as much as you can to fill up your lungs big. Then we're going to hold for 3 seconds, and then we're going to exhale all the air in your lungs. And that naturally will then make your body take another deep breath in. And again, we want to do a big breath so that your chest fills up. Imagine that there is a candle in front of you as you're exhaling that you're trying not to blow out. So it's a very soft breath out. So we'll do that one time together. We're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. Big breath, fill your lungs and hold. And exhale slowly through your mouth. Hopefully you're already feeling grounded, but again, I do encourage you to do this 3 times. Sensory grounding. Next, we're going to be using all of our senses to help your nervous system feel more grounded. This is perfect if you are experiencing any panic attacks as well. Helping your body concentrate on the here and now is crucial in moments like that. So again, I'm going to give you directions to do it so that you can do this on your own. Whenever you're feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, and you really want to bring yourself back to the here and now, what I'm going to have you do is take a seat or lean against the wall, whatever it is that you're needing in that moment. And then you're going to try to identify 5 things that you see. Literally just anything that you can see in front of you. A chair, a wall, shoes, a candle, a cup. Just name it out loud or in your head. Then we're going to use our sense of touch. So I'm going to have you identify 4 things that you can feel. And that could be something that you're sitting on, the wall that you're leaning on. It may be your clothes or your sweater. Is it rough? Is it soft? Can you feel the air conditioning or wind on your face? Can you feel hair on you, your own hair? What is it that you can feel? Just 4 things. And again, these are things that you can say out loud, which can be extremely helpful. And I recommend, if you feel comfortable enough doing so, to do so. But if not, in your head is just fine. Moving on to our sense of hearing. Now we're going to identify 3 things that you can hear. So this could be your own breathing. It could be car sounds. It could be people's voices. Are you listening to music, meditation, or rain sounds? So just identify these things again, either in your head or out loud. Next is to identify 2 things that you can smell. So this can be someone's perfume or your own perfume, deodorant, or even if it is nothing, go ahead and say so. I don't smell anything. It can also be really helpful if you have any essential oils on you or with you, or a scented lotion. You can use those in this moment. So go ahead and reach into your pocket or your purse, pull that out. Take that deep breath in and then name it. I'm smelling lavender, I'm smelling peppermint, I'm smelling eucalyptus, to try again to bring yourself back into the here and now. And lastly, it's going to be one thing that you can taste. This could be water that you just drank or coffee that you just drank. This can also be a moment in which you can reach for a glass of water or tea. Ideally, you're not drinking coffee in a moment when you're feeling extremely anxious, but I encourage you to do that. If you have gum, go ahead and do that. If you are struggling or trying to manage panic attacks or extreme anxiety, something sour is an excellent tool. So having sour candy near you, or like lemons or limes, like wedges in a little zippy Ziploc bag, so that you can reach into it, taste it, and you can say, okay, I'm tasting this sour lemon or sour lime. The purpose of all of these things is, 1, to disengage you from whatever triggering thought that you are having, but 2, to also remind your nervous system that you are safe, that you are here in this moment. What tends to happen when we're triggered, especially if you're having a panic attack, is that we're kind of getting this out-of-body experience. We're really kind of dissociating from ourselves. And that is also what triggers even more panic. We're not grounded, we're not here, we're not feeling in control. And so what helps you feel more in control is by feeling more in your body. And what better way to do that than to concentrate on your senses? That's how we experience the world, is through our senses. So giving your body soothing things to pay attention to look at, to listen, to smell, to taste is excellent. These are ways that you can hack your own system to feel more safe, more grounded. Progressive muscle relaxation. Now, progressive muscle relaxation, if you haven't heard of it before, is focusing on certain muscle groups in your body one by one, tensing them, and then relaxing them. If you've been following me for a while, or if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you know that this is something that I've actually recommended a handful of times. This is actually one of my favorite tools to incorporate into my workshops. So when I go and I do speaking engagements at companies, I always close, or most of the time I will close my talks with this exercise, because it's so powerful. It takes like 3, maybe 5 minutes to do it, and your body feels so relaxed immediately. But enough about me gushing about this coping tool. I really like it. There is, I think, a 15-minute version of it on YouTube that I like to recommend. I'll leave it linked down below. I'll also include it in the newsletter. So be sure to sign up if you haven't already, but I will just give you a very, very short version so you can get a taste or a feel for what it is. This is an activity that you don't necessarily have to be standing up for. You can be lying down and just focusing on those muscle groups, tightening and then relaxing. We're going to focus on one muscle group. So let's start with our feet. Let's start at the bottom. If you are sitting down, I want you to go up on your tippy toes. And then if you're standing up, just stand on your tippy toes. If you're lying down, just start pointing your toes up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take a deep breath in. We're just going to hold it for 2 seconds, that tension, and then we're going to exhale and then also relax our feet. Because this is a quick one, we're just gonna move right on up to our shoulders. So I'm going to have you shrug your shoulders up towards your ears to where it feels comfortable. Tense it. Again, don't do anything that feels painful to your body. So go up and tense it as much as you can. Now we're gonna take a deep breath in through our nose. Tense, tense, tense. And then we're gonna exhale and relax. Now let's do our hands. So I'm going to have you put your hands in a fist, tight, tight, tight. Again, not to hurt yourself, but just as tight as you comfortably can. Then we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. Hold the tension, hold your breath, and then we're going to exhale and release. And then lastly, we're just going to do our jaw. So I'm going to have you clench your jaw, again, as comfortably as you can. Do not do anything that feels painful or too uncomfortable. Tense your jaw and then take a deep breath in with me. And then exhale and relax. I hope that you're already feeling a really big difference in the way that your body is feeling and starting to feel a little bit more relaxed. Again, I highly recommend this for sleeping time, but again, if you are feeling tense, stressed, uncomfortable at work, going into the bathroom stall and doing this exercise, even this version that I just shared with you, it'll help you feel more grounded and give you the opportunity to respond to things versus react to things. Free form journaling. So I actually, as part of my practice, will sometimes give my clients homework of a journal prompt. And if you've been following me for a while, you're part of the newsletter, you receive my content, or on Patreon, you know that I will also give you a lot of journaling prompts. I find reflection to be extremely important and a crucial piece of our mental health journey. However, we don't always know what to say or what to write about. Freeform journaling lets you just free write. So this is the idea that you put on a timer and then you just write whatever is going on in your head. Even if it is, I have no idea what to write, start with that and then keep going. And sometimes we are also not aware of what's bothering us. We just kind of start writing and then we realize, oh, something's coming up for me. And that can be really helpful and productive. Hi, okay, editor me talking. I don't know how I skipped this, but sometimes we also very much know what is bothering us, especially when we're dealing with anxiety. We might have a lot of anxious thoughts just kind of running through our head, and free writing can be a really helpful exercise to just let out those thoughts. We want to be careful not to ruminate and just sit in those thoughts, but think of it as, I'm gonna let all these anxious thoughts go through writing. Once they're on the piece of paper, they're no longer inside your head, and you can move on to any other grounding exercise. Mindful movement. Lastly, mindful movement can be really helpful when you're trying to relax your whole body, your whole nervous system. Stress and anxiety is carried in your body, and your whole nervous system, your lungs, your heart, your brain is responding to what you're experiencing. So if we can help your body slow down what we're communicating to your nervous system, is that it doesn't need to be that turned on, that you are actually okay and it doesn't have to prepare to fight or run away. With mindful movement, the purpose is to help your body move slower. It's for you to be more in your body and actually try to get rid of discomfort within it. So whatever is feeling tight, stretching it out. Yoga is one of my favorite ways to engage in mindful movement. Stretches can also be more than enough. Also, going on a walk. I like to add on sensory elements to walks, trying to pay attention to the things that you are seeing. It could be a goal of counting maybe how many certain types of trees you see, or just naming out loud all the colors that you're seeing as you're walking. It doesn't have to be all the colors, but just whatever is popping up for you. So again, being really mindful and present throughout your walk and what is around you. I would also discourage you from listening to podcasts, audiobooks, or music during these walks, because again, the purpose is to be in your body and pay attention to what is feeling good. My last few tips for a lot of these coping tools are to add sensory elements. As I just suggested during your walk, to pay attention to the things that you're seeing, adding things like scents can also be very helpful. Smell is the sense that is the most connected to memory. So if you are using a particular scent every time that you are calming yourself, every time that you feel safe, what is going to happen is that even by just smelling that, your nervous system is going to go, oh, I remember feeling safe when I'm smelling this. So you can trigger that grounding response for your nervous system if you get used to or have the practice of using the same smell during these calming activities. If essential oils are either out of your budget, not your preference, don't really like them, you can also use candles. So that is also something that carries a scent, or scented lotion, again, something that carries a scent. And I encourage you to use the same one so that whenever you need it, you can do that. You can also add things like sound, so soothing sounds can be helpful. If you are used to meditating and you turn on maybe element sounds, so rain or waterfalls or forest sounds, things like that, ocean sounds. If you're already listening to those during your meditation, that's perfect. You can add that on in the background as you're journaling, as you're taking the deep breaths, as you're doing your progressive muscle relaxation. So sound can be really good. I don't encourage you to do it during your walks, again, because the point is for you to be like in your body. But if you need it or find it helpful, of course, do whatever fits you best. Yeah, you can also add things like touch or sight, like I mentioned during your walk. Pay more attention to what you're seeing, or touch, you can pay attention to what you're feeling, hot sun or the wind, right, or cold. And you can also incorporate touch for things like the deep breath. So you can have sensory tools, so something really soft or maybe something squishy when you're stressed or anxious. It can also be helpful to use a soft blanket if you're trying to get to bed, have something really cozy around you. So there's so many ways in which you can incorporate sensory tools to these coping tools to kind of kick them up a notch and make them more beneficial for you. So I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you've tried any of these coping tools or maybe are interested in trying one of these, and let me know how it's going. If you want any extra goodies, consider becoming a paid member or a paid Patreon, and subscribe to my newsletter to stay in touch. As always, before we go, let's take a deep breath in together. And out. And I'll see you in the next one.